Sai Ram. When we start to read, study and explore Swami's teachings from his discourses, Vahinis and various other sources, it almost feels like an entire ocean has opened up in front of us. Standing on its shores, we wonder how on earth will we be able to understand, assimilate and experience this vast ocean. But the beautiful thing about the ocean is that, like sage Agastya, we need not drink the entire ocean to experience it. Even tasting one drop of it is enough to grant us the experience of the ocean. So too it is with Swami's teachings. If we are able to read, study, take up even one teaching and sincerely and obediently follow that in word and spirit, we will get the experience of Bhagwan. But the problem lies in understanding what it means to sincerely and obediently follow it. For instance, I always used to think that whatever I am taking up, I am doing it with utmost sincerity and obedience to Swami, till I heard the experience of M. Kishore. Kishore Madham Shettivar is an alumnus of the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. To most of us, he is Kishore Sir because he taught us at the MBA school of the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. He has retired now, but he continues to stay in Prashanti. More importantly, Prashanti continues to stay in him because he is such an amazing personality with such wonderful, phenomenal experiences. A man of great simplicity and humility, and I'm grateful to Swami for the opportunity to have known him, to have spoken to him and to have heard many experiences from him, especially this one. As a student, one fine Sunday morning, Kishore Sir was seated in the Ganesha temple that is in the premises of the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. He used to spend most of his time reading Swami's discourses, reading the Dhyana Vahini especially, which Swami himself had told him to do, and he also kept the company of similar minded students and would spend all his time discussing about the higher purpose of life and Swami's teachings. So this particular Sunday morning in the Ganesha temple, Kishore Sir was seated and with the friends there, he was discussing about the titri birds and the Taittiriya Upanishad. I hope you have heard the story of how the Taittiriya Upanishad came into being. If you have not, or even if you have, it would be amazing to listen to that story from our beloved Bhagwan himself.
వేదములను విభజించి జగత్తునకు చాటినటువంటి వాడు వ్యాసుడు. అతనికి ప్రధాన శిష్యుడు వైశంపాయనుడు. అతను వ్యాసుడి దగ్గర నుంచి అనేక విధములైనటువంటి యొక్క శాస్త్రములను, వేదములను, రహస్యములను నేర్చుకున్నటువంటి వాడు. అతని దగ్గర యాజ్ఞవల్కుడు ప్రవేశించాడు. యాజ్ఞవల్కుడు గొప్ప మేధాశక్తి గలవాడు. అతను ఈ యొక్క వేదము నిమిత్తమై తన ప్రాణమునైన కూడా అర్పితం గావించడానికి తగినటువంటి సంసిద్ధుడైనటువంటి వాడు. వైశంపాయనుడు ఈ యాజ్ఞవల్కుడు చూచిన తక్షణమే పట్టలేని ఆనందంతో ఉట్టిపోయాడు. అతన్ని దగ్గర చేర్చి కన్న బిడ్డవలే ఆదరించి పోషించి వేదమునందలి రహస్యములన్నింటి కూడా బోధిస్తూ వచ్చాడు. కానీ సామాన్యంగా ప్రతి మానవునికి కొన్ని పాత సంస్కారాలు ఉంటుంటాయి, రోత సంస్కారాలు కొన్ని ఉంటుంటాయి. ఈ సంస్కారములు కేవలము యాజ్ఞవల్కుల్లో కూడా ప్రవేశించింది. తాను వేదాధ్యయనం చేసి సర్వ రహస్యములను గుర్తించి కొంతకాలమైన తర్వాత కొంత అహంకారం ప్రారంభమైంది. ఈ ప్రారంభం కావటం చేతనే గురుభావం అనేటువంటిది క్రమక్రమేణా సన్నగిలుతూ వచ్చింది. కొన్ని విషయాల లోపల గురువులకు శిష్యులకు కొన్ని అభిప్రాయ భేదములు కలుగుతూ వచ్చాయి. క్రమక్రమేణా వాదనకు పూనుకున్నాడు. దీనిని గుర్తించినటువంటి యొక్క వైశంపాయనుడు, నాయన చాలు చాలు, నీకు నాకు ఈనాటితో రుణము తీరిపోయింది. ఏదో మనకు ప్రేమ సంబంధం ఉండినంత వరకు కూడాను నేను ఎన్ని విధములుగానో ఆదరించాను, పుత్రుల సమానంగా చూసుకున్నాను, ఎవరికీ చెప్పనటువంటి రహస్యాలంతా నీకు చెప్పినాను. ఇంకా నీవు నా దగ్గర ఉండటం ప్రయోజనం లేదు కనుక నేను ఇచ్చినటువంటి విద్యను నాకు అప్పచెప్పి నీవు వెళ్ళిపోమని చెప్పాడు. ఈ యొక్క యువకుడు తాను కూడాను ఒక పట్టుత్వము కలిగినటువంటి వాడు, పట్టుదల కలిగినటువంటి వాడు కనుక అతను తాను అందించినటువంటి వేదనమును వమనం చేసి వెళ్ళిపోయాడు. ఈ వమనం చేసినటువంటి యొక్క వేదమును తిత్తిరి పక్షులు అనేటువంటివి అందుకున్నాయి. అప్పుడే ఈ యొక్క శబ్దమును అవి ఉచ్చరిస్తూ రావటం చేతని, ఇంతే కాక తిత్తిరి అనేటువంటి ఋషి కుమారుడు కూడా ఉండటం చేత ఆ తిత్తిరి కుమారుని యొక్క ప్రచార ప్రబోధం చేతని దీనికి తైత్తరి అని కూడా పేరు వచ్చింది. ఈ తిత్తిరి పక్షులు గ్రహించటం చేతనే దీనికి కృష్ణ యజుర్వేదము అని పేరు వచ్చింది. ఈ కృష్ణ యజుర్వేదము బ్రహ్మ సంస్కారము.
I borrowed that discourse excerpt from the channel called Sri Sathya Sai Students. In case you are not aware of it or have not subscribed to it, please do so. It's an amazing channel run by the current students of Swami's college, and the content is really beautiful. Continuing with the narrative, having discussed this story in the Ganesh temple, Kishore sir in the afternoon went to the mandir for darshan. Those were the days when possibly the Sai Kulwant hall was not yet in place. As they all sat in the darshan grounds, Kishore sir and his neighbor looked up and saw these pigeons that keep flying in the darshan grounds. So his friend mentioned, Kishore, these pigeons are possibly sages that have come to have Swami's darshan. And what could Kishore sir say? He said, yes, maybe, we don't know. Only Swami has to say that. So this way, even there, whatever they discussed, Kishore sir would always ensure that it is centered on Swami. And that is something that is true of him even today. When you get the privilege to meet him in Prashanthinilayam and Puttaparthi, do spend some time with him. It will definitely motivate you, thrill you and charge you up to take up a spiritual life. These are the Maharishis that stay at Puttaparthi. Then, darshans began and Swami came walking so beautifully. As he was passing by the area where Kishore sir and his neighbor, all those friends were also seated, a pigeon suddenly darted across and eased itself. Pigeon droppings fell onto the floor a few feet away from where Swami was walking. Swami saw that, then turned to Kishore sir and told him, hey, that is Amrita, eat it. Amrita is the nectar of immortality. It is something that confers on you the greatest knowledge, the greatest wisdom, and makes you immortal. Now when Swami told this with a smile, everyone seated around began to laugh. What else will you do when Swami makes a statement like that? But Kishore sir got up from his place, jumped across, went straight near Swami, knelt down, picked up those pigeon droppings, put it in his mouth, and in a single gulp, swallowed it. And there was a stunned silence. Nobody ever imagined that Kishore sir would do this. Or for that matter, anybody would do this. Come on, Swami was joking. But when we say every word that escapes his lips is a Veda Vakya, it is not only for lip service, right? Swami now turned to all the others who were seated there and with his finger pointed out to Kishore and said, to Kishore sir, and said, that is true surrender. Then turned and walked on. Dear brothers and sisters, if we are able to follow even one teaching of Swami sincerely and obediently, such that Swami can look at us and say, this is true surrender, I think our life would be set. Because then we just have to sit back and relax and enjoy the ride. Swami will carry us through. Let us remember that even when it came to Arjuna, Krishna waited for him to say, Karishye vachanam tava, meaning I will do as you say. Till then Krishna waited. Krishna tried to convince him, tried to give him input so that he could use his own information, own knowledge, own intelligence. But then Arjuna realized the futility of all that and said, Krishna, I don't care about what I think, what I feel. I don't care about my intelligence. I don't care about my knowledge. I will do what you say. Then Krishna said, don't worry Arjuna. I will tell you precisely and exactly what you have to do. When the Lord gets the confidence that the devotee will do whatever he says, he will definitely say. Why else will the Lord waste his words if he is not confident that we will follow. Just like we have faith in him, he also needs to develop his faith in us, that we will follow his words, and then he will definitely take the reins of our life and guide the chariot in the most perfect manner. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.